All right, chat. This is a new segment called Spooky, Strange, Interesting Art. And this was made by someone named, it says here, Picture Frame. So thank you for submitting this. This is definitely something a little different. And that's not spooky music. Oh, this is the wrong playlist. Oops. And we're going to take a look at some of this art, and I'm going to determine how I feel about it. So, okay, this one's called Man Proposes, God Disposes, from Edwin Landseer in 1864. This painting by English artist Edwin Landseer was inspired by Franklin's Lost Expedition, a doomed 19th century venture to find the Northwest Passage. The passage was a hypothetical shipping route through the icy waterways of northern Canada. Franklin's expedition disappeared, and despite several search operations, the two ships, Erebus and Terror, were not located until 2014 and 2016, respectively. The Terror is a really good show, by the way. There's a lot of, spooky things in there that probably didn't happen, but it's an excellent show. The painting drew controversy right from its debut at an exhibition attended by Franklin's wife. Loyal to the end, Lady Franklin had sent several search parties to look for her lost husband's expedition, and therefore was none too happy at the suggestion he may have been eaten by polar bears. The painting currently hangs at the Royal Holloway University of London and was rumored to be cursed or haunted, a legend dating back to the 1920s. It is said that those unlucky enough to sit in front of it during exams will fail. What? To mitigate this, the painting is covered with Union Jack during finals. That is okay. I think that's kind of funny. So again, yes, if you name your ships the Erebus and Terror, well, but yeah, definitely really nice piece. I don't really know how to describe art, so I can just tell you that when I look at this, I think this is good, and also a little bit creepy, especially knowing the story. And again, I would also recommend the Terror TV show. Season 1, I don't know about Season 2. Oh, that's weird. This one's called The Hands Resist Him by Bill Stoneham, 1972. Painted in 1972 by Bill Stoneham, this artwork was subject of an urban legend in February of 2000. Known as the Haunted eBay Painting, the seller claimed the figures would move around at night, sometimes leaving the painting entirely to enter the room. News of the listing spread across the internet, with viewers reportedly feeling ill from looking at the artwork. Haunted or not, the publicity certainly helped the bidding. The painting eventually sold for $1,050. That's not that much, but you know what? That's a bit more than you would expect. It is definitely a weird painting. I mean, the freaking hands behind the glass, the faces, it's just a weird composition. I mean, it's a doll. It's very flat and kind of like muted. It's weird. Yeah, it's a very, very weird image. This has two sequel paintings that tell a story. Really? Let's see. I don't know where those are, but I'm seeing stuff like this. You know what I mean? So, someone just said painting cinematic universe. Also, chat, if any of listen, if you're looking at any of this art and you're trying to determine if it's AI, you probably should just like stop, because it's just like paintings. And from this one's from 1972. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? All right, here, next. Neanderthal cave engravings. Artist unknown. 55,000 BCE. Could be AI. I'm not sure. Our closest relatives, the Neanderthals, were long thought of as dim-witted cave people, lacking capacity for anything beyond their own survival, but cave engravings discovered in France last June have challenged that perception. Researchers have dated the engravings to be at least 57,000 years old, long before modern humans were in the area. The presence of Neanderthal tools in the cave further supports that they were artists. The engravings may not look like much, but researchers argue that they're structured, deliberate, and intentional. If Neanderthals were capable of such artistic expression, it is all the sadder that they're gone. It's a popular theory that competition or conflict with humans may have led to their decline and extinction. So that may be some of the first art ever. And it's like, yeah, you can't really see very much, but if there's stuff going on 55,000 years ago, that's pretty nuts. More, 57,000 years ago. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum theft, 1990. If you were to pick the perfect day to rob the city of Boston, which day would you choose? The morning after St. Paddy's Day, 1990. Thieves posing as police gained access to the Gardner Museum. They tied up the guards and stole 13 works of art. What do you mean, tied up the guards? Anyway, among them is The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, which is Rembrandt's only seascape. Arguably the most valuable painting stolen was The Concert by Johannes Vermeer. It remains the most expensive art theft in history. There is a standing $10 million reward for information that leads to the recovery of the paintings. Experts were baffled by what the thieves chose not to steal, passing over works by Michelangelo, Raphael, and Botticelli. The FBI have long suspected that the Boston Mafia was involved in the heist, my God, but the case remains unsolved. As Gardner's will, who died in 1924, stated that nothing in her collection shall be moved, the stolen paintings' frames still hang empty on the walls, an eerie reminder of what was taken. Okay? So, you can never really sell these paintings. Like, if you stole them, then they're just sitting in your grandpappy's attic for years. And that's it. So, I guess they really were a fan of art. Boss, I'm telling you, I got to have this. I got to have it, boss.
Oh, Frankie, I'm gonna let you have this. You can have it if you want.
Thank you, boss. I want to put it in my bedroom. Inundation of the Weisbach, I don't know how to say that, by Lawrence Alma Tadema, 1856. I'm going to have some of these names wrong. In 1412, a devastating flood struck the Netherlands. The levees failed, and only the lucky were able to escape to higher ground until the water could subside. According to the legend, when the survivors returned to assess the damage, they found a cradle floating in the water. Atop the cradle was a cat, leaping wildly from one side to the other to keep it from capsizing. When retrieved, the people were shocked to find a baby safe and sound within. Not only did the cat keep the cradle from sinking, it even kept the sheets dry. Artist Lawrence Alma Tadema would later paint the scene in this piece titled Inundation of the Weisbach. That's really interesting, actually. Well, where's the cat? I don't see it. It's one of those things, maybe if you zoom in. But no, I also do not see said cat. But really beautiful piece of art. Like, absolutely. Wait. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. You know what? This is it. You know why I fucked up? Because the other ones were the heist paintings that were stolen. I'll be aware of that. So this one, that's, by the way, that cat face is incredible, and that's another amazing piece of art. But yeah, so this is one of the pieces that was stolen, and here's another one. I'm assuming the one on the right is the Vermeer. Yep. Yeah, that's the Vermeer. So those are just hanging up in Frankie's room now. So once again, yeah, here's the this is incredible. That is a very memorable cat. All right. Oh, wow. What am I looking at here? Study after Velázquez portrait of Pope Innocent X, Francis Bacon, 1953. Francis Bacon painted this haunting piece in 1953. It is essentially a distorted version of Velázquez's famous portrait of Pope Innocent X centuries prior. In Bacon's rendition, the Pope is screaming or about to scream and appears to be imprisoned by the strange vertical lines around him. There have been many interpretations about the painting's meaning. Some view it as a Nietzschean statement that God is dead. Others see it as a symbolic killing of a father figure. Indeed, Bacon had a very tumultuous relationship with his own father. Bacon's paintings would inspire the painter-turned-filmmaker David Lynch, who is covered later in this pack. By the way, there are sources for all of this. There's links here, and I'll find a way. Maybe we can have them in the link of the links in the video. So, but yeah, this is actually incredible. And it is very creepy. Okay, Wheatfield with Crows by Van Gogh, 1890. Painted by Vincent van Gogh, it is commonly said that this was the final painting he produced before his death. Although it was certainly one of them, scholars today believe Tree Roots is more likely to be his last. Either way, the stormy skies, the ominous crows, and the sense of isolation produce a striking image. Jules Michelet, one of Van Gogh's favorite authors, wrote of crows, "They interest themselves in everything and observe everything. The ancients, who lived far more completely than ourselves in and with nature, found it no small profit to follow the directions of so prudent and sage a bird." Yeah, I agree. Crows are great. There was a really great series of like Van Gogh exhibits that I got to see. Like nothing crazy, but they had some recreations and some like stuff that you could like actually step inside a Van Gogh painting. It was cool. Like it was just projected on the walls. This is House by the Railroad, 1925. Edward Hopper is well known for tackling themes of loneliness and isolation through his paintings. It is said that Alfred Hitchcock was inspired by this work when creating the Bates house for the film Psycho. It's also said to be the inspiration for the Addams Family home. Okay, I can see both. You know what it reminds me of too? I kind of don't want to bring up the Beetlejuice home, but like maybe just a big empty home. That's the thing about Beetlejuice. It's just a big empty home on a hill, and inside are weird pieces of art. But yeah, I can see the Psycho. Is this the So this is all Edward Hopper. Okay, so this is room. Which one is this? The Psycho Bates house? Oh, this is the literally from the movie Psycho. This is Rooms by the Sea. Many of Hopper's work have a surreal or liminal composition, places to be traveled through but not lingered in. One such painting is Rooms by the Sea, created by Hopper in 1951. So yeah, maybe Edward Hopper was the liminal man, creating some of the first liminal art. Who knows? And also, maybe people could tap into this for inspiration so we don't keep getting pool rooms over and over and over again. And this one is the most famous of his, which I've seen a million times. Didn't know who it was, but I'm feeling educated now. Hopper's most famous work, this is Nighthawks. Spectators have long wondered what the story is behind the people at the bar, but the painting keeps its secrets, and all we can do is speculate. I mean, that's the thing about it. It is a really interesting painting, and it just kind of draws you to it. It's something about the positioning of the diner. It kind of makes me want to be there, even though the diner is like super, super empty. How do you enter? It's probably off screen. But yeah, I kind of like to think that it's not really that much of an entertaining story at all. It might just be the most mundane thing ever. But it's from the 40s, so it's a little moment captured in time. Dog and Bridge from Alex Colville, 1976. At first glance, this may look like a screenshot from a PS2 game. Huh. The flat, incorrect shading and seemingly low-poly dog are reminiscent of those early computer graphics. It's actually a painting by Alex Colville, created back in 1976. The lighting is uncanny and the scene is tense. If a train were to come by, the dog would have nowhere safe to go. Colville was a photographer during World War II and was no stranger to the macabre. His other paintings share a similar sense of uneasiness. That is actually, yeah, the most PS2 looking painting I've ever seen in my life. And the colors, yeah, there is an uncanniness to this, and it's honestly, when I was about to open it, I was looking at it, I'm like, was this placed in the wrong folder? But no, there you go. Chat, do you know who this is? David Lynch. Before movies and television, David Lynch's passion was painting. He studied at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts and soon had a vision to see his paintings move. At first, he considered animation before focusing on live-action filmmaking. The rest is history. But Lynch never gave up the brush entirely and has made numerous paintings since then. Of course, one will find many similarities in style between his paintings and films. The photo with Lynch is one of his earlier works from the 60s. The other is a painting from 2000 titled, "Bob finds himself in a world for which he has no understanding." And this is that painting. Yep. I mean, it's even written there. Could you imagine if he went into animation? I could see like a Fantastic Planet type movie coming out of Lynch. It's really interesting art. I mean, there's something about this, and I don't know, did he actually put like twigs on the canvas? Because if so, that's really cool. But it is a very alien-looking world, isn't it? Damn. He did do some animated stuff. Well, he's very, very good. He could have had a career just painting, too. The Witching Hour by Andrew Wyeth, 1977. This menacing painting is by Andrew Wyeth. It depicts a room that it's empty but hums with a supernatural energy. The windows are dark, showing only the spooky reflections from the chandelier. Notably, the windows are closed shut, but the candles appear to be affected by a strong draft, almost about to go out. The table is off-center, and 2 chairs are missing, bringing another sense of tension to the scene. Wyeth, one of America's most famous painters, had quite a fondness for the Halloween season, and many of his works reflect that. There was actually an incident in my life which involved wind from... Okay, I felt wind go out a window when it was the only window open in the house. This is an old place that I lived at for a while. So it was weird. And it involved, a candle. And then I felt a gust of wind from behind me to the window, and then it went outside. And then I checked, and there was no other places the wind could have come in. What does it mean? I don't know. Probably nothing. But I'll tell you what it does. It does mean that this is reminiscent of that event in my life. Actually, we have a little bit more information about the witching hour. Here's a quote from Wyeth about his work generally. There's witchcraft and hidden meaning there. Halloween and all that is strangely tied into my paintings. For me, the paintings have that eerie feeling of goblins and witches out riding on broomsticks, damp rotting leaves and moisture, smell of makeup. As a child, the smell inside of a pumpkin when a candle is lit, the feel of your face under a mask walking down a road in the moonlight. I love all that because then I don't exist anymore. Wow. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. And it like really perfectly describes what I love about Halloween too. Happy in Spite from Ivan Seal, 2010. Internet dwellers may already be familiar with this image. It was used as the album cover for An Empty Bliss Beyond This World, an ambient album that samples ballroom records from the early 20th century. It's based on a study regarding people with Alzheimer's disease being able to remember music they listened to when they were younger, as well as where they were and how they felt when they listened to it. The cover was painted by Ivan Seal, another artist with a focus on memories. The album made and released by The Caretaker also seems to draw inspiration from The Shining, with the name likely referring to Jack Torrance's role as the caretaker of the haunted Overlook Hotel. When we grow old, what music will we remember? Music does bring me back. There was some stuff I've heard that I hadn't heard for like 30 years. So a lot of the music that I grew up listening to, I still listen to once in a while. I mean, I just saw Pearl Jam live not too long ago. So, that is still kind of music that I've made memories with throughout the years. But there was stuff that specifically I heard when I was younger, and it was like a flashbang to my brain. And some of it was some of the stuff that was on the radio at the time. Some of it's stuff from like a show or a movie. And chat, one of them is the dumbest possible one. And I'm going to share the story with you. It's very quick. For some reason, my principal at my school, my grade school, in the first couple years, like first, second, third grade, on a day that was it was like a half day or a day before a holiday, he would play the song Hands Up through the loudspeaker, which sounded like shit, but it was the song, it would, what is chat saying? Caught? You know the song, Hands Up, Baby, Hands Up, Give Me Your Heart, Baby, Baby. Oh, it's an emote. Oh, that stupid song. And I had forgotten about that song for like 30 years more. And I heard it, and I could smell the fucking cafeteria. I could smell the sawdust. Maybe I shouldn't. And I was immediately brought back to the cookies that I was eating. Like, it was like immediately, like, here's all these memories. So between smell and music, those are things that you can immediately just bring you back. But hey, look at this. It's art, and it's a cigarette, and it's interesting. Oh boy. What do we got here? The Arnolfini portrait. Jan van Eyck? I'm not sure how to say that. 1434. Perhaps one of the most mysterious paintings in history. The Arnolfini portrait has had experts debating its meaning for centuries. Painted by Jan van Eyck. Jan van Eyck in 1434, it seems to depict two wealthy merchants. The painting is strikingly complex for its time and subject matter. Most impressive is the mirror in the background, in which we may see a glimpse of the painter himself. The objects around the room are rife with symbolism, and scholars have used them as evidence for their interpretations. So, let's take a quick look at something. Wow. 1434. That's nuts. Oh, actually, I even have a close-up separate that's even more detailed. Wow. And there's like tons of, like, you can see the crucifixion, and it just, it's like so much detail. We got some close-ups of the whole thing, so I'm going to show you. Here's the guy's face. There's something weirdly realistic and yet unrealistic about this face. And the fact that this is something from nearly 600 years ago is kind of nuts. Like, this might just be what some dude looked like 600 years ago. And here's the dog as well, up close. Even the dog has, like, so much detail. So here's some interpretations. The painting commemorates a marriage, or commemorates a pregnancy, or it does not commemorate a pregnancy. The excess fabric on her waist is just fashionable at the time. Commemorates Arnolfini's wife, who died, possibly in childbirth, and she's a ghost here. The painting is a gift from the artist to Arnolfini. The painting was commissioned to show the Arnolfini's family wealth and or piety. The painter just wanted to flex his artistic skill, and it's no deeper than that. Or the painting depicts Arnolfini, who is the third Mario brother. Okay, that one's fake. What do you think the painting's true meaning is? And does anyone else find their faces to be a bit uncanny, alien, creepy? Yes. Hotshot Eastbound. Hotshot Eastbound. So this is photography of O. Winston Link, late 1950s. In the late 1950s, the last steam trains in America were being converted to diesel. Determined to capture the steam engine's final moments, industrial photographer O. Winston Link took to the railroad with his camera. To heighten the drama, Link wanted the picture taken at night, so he had to invent new lighting techniques to do so. He would string together several dozen light bulbs, all to explode at once, providing only one opportunity for a photograph as the train rolled by. The results are beautiful and haunting. Link's trains appear to be like hulking phantoms in the small towns they pass through. They produce a feeling of nostalgia and melancholy for the end of an era in American history. And again, not that long ago. Weirdly, when you think about it, we just looked at a painting from 600 years ago, and this is the late 50s. And it feels so foreign to us in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it is just a one human lifetime, pretty much. Here's Link with his night flash equipment. Imagine, like, just giving this guy an iPhone. Or just here's a digital camera. Have fun. Here's some more of his photographs. Dude loved trains. This shouldn't be a weird photo, but I think because of the lighting, it's weird. And also you can see the train. So wow, that window just straight up looks right out into the onto the train tracks, huh? So this is interesting. Vermeer Forgeries, artist unknown, 20th century likely. The old masters are called masters for a reason. Very few painters can match their skill and technique. That hasn't stopped forgers from trying, though. The National Gallery in DC ended up with enough fake Vermeers to fill an exhibition. This painting is Smiling Girl and was faked as a companion to the girl with the pearl earring. It comes off less as a companion and more of a sinister doppelganger, something you'd see in Crazy Red peddling in your Animal Crossing village. Actually, yes. And there's the original. Yeah. Yeah. The old masters are called masters for a reason. Vinny, you missed the mirror in the back of the couple's photo. Promise you I didn't. There you go. I think the puzzle has been solved. So there you go. That's it. Very quick segment. And that was cool. I would definitely do more of this. This is great. I'm really interested and also very concise. Just the right amount of information. So definitely would do more like this or, just more interesting things in general, like just something that is a half hour to an hour long segment where I just read and learn some stuff and, take a look at some stuff with chat. So thank you, Picture Frame. If you ever end up with a part 2, definitely drop a line. I like learning sometimes. Oh, look at this. We actually have one bonus image, chat. There is one of the sequels to this is the yeah, the cinematic universe. Wow. And it's just the inside of the house, but it's all weird. It reminds me of Return to Oz. Strange. Thanks for watching.